Judith's voice trembled as she stood before the counter. Grilled fish and roasted chicken were served quickly. Waiters moved fast, carrying trays and drinks efficiently. At the far corner, a young man mopped the floor. So today, Judith left her mansion and guards behind. She wore an old ash gown rubbed with dust, left her face without makeup, scattered her hair, wore cheap slippers that hurt her feet badly. She wanted to see how staff treated poor. She took a deep breath and whispered encouragement. "I can do this," she said to herself. Then she crossed the road toward glass doors. As Judith stepped in, cold air hit her skin. At once, people stared with mouths turned down. Eyebrows lifted as some shifted chairs away, as if her poverty could spread like sickness. A little boy pointed at her dirty gown. His mother pulled his hand down quickly, whispered something into his ear to stop. Judith felt very small, but kept walking forward, toward the counter where Sandra stood waiting. Sandra's eyes scanned from hair to bare feet. "Excuse me," Judith said softly and politely. "Please, Ma, can I talk to you briefly?" Sandra put one hand on her waist impatiently. "Talk quick," she snapped at the beggar. "Can't you see I am busy right now?" "I am very hungry," Judith began, shaking voice. "I have not eaten for days. Please help. I am not asking for money at all. I only want leftovers or unfinished food. Please, Ma, anything to ease my hunger." The restaurant grew quiet as a waiter paused. Even Johnson stopped mopping and looked up curiously. Sandra blinked, then her lips curved coldly. "So that's why you entered this fine place? To beg for food in Benson's Food? Are you the only hungry person in Lagos?" Judith swallowed hard and tried to explain. "Please, Ma, I am not lazy at all. Life just became hard for me suddenly. I will work if there's any small job. Wash plates, clean the floor, anything possible. I just need food to survive today." Some customers shifted uncomfortably in their seats. An older woman whispered to give her rice. God sees everything, but Sandra ignored them. She was enjoying the moment of power. "Oh, so you are not lazy," she said, with fake surprise in her mocking voice. "Then prove it to me right now." She stepped back and lifted her right leg, pointed at her shiny high heel dramatically. "If you want to eat today, kiss my shoes." The words fell like a bomb exploding. People gasped again in total shock. Judith's eyes widened as she whispered, "Ma, kiss my shoes." Sandra repeated even louder. "And don't stop there. Clean with tongue. That is the price for my kindness today." She laughed again, drawing nervous chuckles. One young man said, "That's too much now." Another muttered, "She is lazy. Let her do it. If she is truly hungry, she will comply." Judith felt tears burn her eyes painfully. Her heart stabbed with shame and humiliation. Her stomach growled, but her spirit pulled back. She looked at the shoe, then at faces. "I can't do that," she whispered softly. Sandra's smile disappeared as eyes turned hard. "Then get out of here right now. Leave my restaurant. You are embarrassing us. If our new billionaire CEO sees you here, what will she think from London arrival?" Judith's chest tightened at those ironic words. "If only you knew," she thought silently. Two security guards came closer to her. Sandra pointed at the door commandingly. "Remove her now," she ordered them. They pushed Judith gently backward to the door. Judith stepped outside with eyes full of tears. Her throat burned as she didn't beg again. She sat slowly on a plastic chair outside. Her stomach cried louder, heart cried more. Inside, people went back to eating normally. Johnson had watched everything with hurting heart. His hand held the mop tightly still. His mind was on the girl outside alone. He dropped the mop and wiped his hands, walked to the counter to order food. "Please, 1 plate of jollof rice with chicken and bottled water," he said to cashier. The cashier frowned and asked if sure. "End of month. Money never reach." "Oh, I know," Johnson said quietly but firmly. "Just do it." He paid with last money. His pocket became empty as he carried food. Outside, Judith stared at ground when tapped. She turned to see Johnson holding plate. He smiled shyly and introduced himself softly. "My name is Johnson. I am janitor here. I don't have much, but this is all. I used my last money to buy this. Please eat it and forget what happened." Judith stared at food, then at him. Her eyes filled with fresh tears again. "Why would you do this for me?" she asked in wonder and gratitude. He shrugged lightly with a kind smile. "Because you are hungry and they were wrong." Slowly, Judith took the plate with shaking hands. "Thank you," she whispered from her heart. "God will bless you for this kindness." She ate each spoon like life returning. Johnson sat beside her quietly without speaking. just being there for her in silence. When she finished, she wiped her mouth. "Please, what is your name again?" she asked, turning to him seriously. "Johnson," he repeated as the janitor. "And the manager who spoke to me, what is her name?" "Sandra. She's the manager of Benson's Food." Judith nodded slowly and looked him in eyes. "Johnson, can I have your phone number?" she asked, surprising him completely. "My number? Why?" He blinked in confusion. "Please, I just want to remember you." He hesitated, then gave her the number. She wrote it on small paper from gown. Then she stood up and thanked him again. "For the food and for your kindness, truly." She walked away slowly on hot ground. Johnson watched her go, feeling strangely important. At the end of the street, she turned corner. Out of sight, a black, expensive SUV parked. Driver in neat suit waited patiently. As Judith came closer, she straightened her back. Her sad face changed to calm and strong. The driver opened the door respectfully. "Welcome, Ma. How did it go?" Judith removed old slippers and rough gown, revealing simple, neat dress underneath her disguise. "They failed," she said softly with cold eyes. "Tomorrow, they will see who I really am." She looked back, toward the distant restaurant. Her fingers tightened around paper with Johnson's number. "This is a small world," she whispered determinedly, "and I am done watching from far away." She stepped into the SUV as door closed. The engine started and the car rolled away. Judith's mind was already planning her next move. Tomorrow, she would enter as Billionaire CEO, not as beggar, and Sandra would be shocked. The next morning, Lagos woke up loud and busy. Cars honking, people rushing to work everywhere. Smell of fresh bread from street shops drifting. But inside Judith's mansion compound, everything was calm, quiet, and shining like a separate world. Judith stood in front of giant mirror wardrobe. Today, no torn gown or barefoot shaking. She wore smooth cream jumpsuit with gold earrings, her hair neatly styled in long straight weave. She looked powerful, strong, and fully ready. Her housekeeper Ada stood behind her respectfully. "Madam, you look like your father's daughter today." Judith smiled at her reflection in the mirror. "I am my father's daughter," she whispered confidently, "and today, everybody will see it clearly." Ada nodded and handed her a small purse. "Your guards are waiting downstairs for you." Judith took a deep breath, heart steady now. No more pretending to be weak or hiding. Today she would reveal the truth completely. Inside the restaurant, people ate breakfast happily. Jollof, pasta, akara, fried yam, hot tea served. Waiters moved around quickly with spicy smells. Sandra walked proudly from table to table, fake smile plastered on her proud face. No one guessed she bragged about beggar lesson. "Imagine," she laughed to friends over phone. The girl smelled of hunger, wanted free food. "I told her to kiss my shoes first." Lazy people everywhere. She had mocked them. She didn't know her life would collapse soon. Johnson arrived quietly and got mop bucket. His stomach felt light after biscuits breakfast. He didn't complain as he started working. He heard two waiters whispering about news. "Did you hear? Someone important coming today. Someone big." Sandra has been shouting since. Johnson raised a brow but kept on working. He didn't have time for gossip today. A loud honk echoed from outside suddenly. Customers looked through the glass doors curiously. A long black SUV rolled into compound. Sleek, shiny, expensive, with two more following. People whispered, "Who is that convoy like? Politician or billionaire's car?" They guessed excitedly. Sandra straightened her wig with jumping heart. Was this the new CEO from London? She rushed forward, adjusting her anchor gown, forcing a big smile on her face. The door opened as tall guards stepped out. Dark-suited, strong, serious. Then another followed. Then Judith Anderson stepped out confidently. Not the Judith from yesterday at all. This Judith had shoulders high, chin raised, her dress shining under the Lagos sun. Sandra's jaw dropped fast in total shock. Her eyes widened, mouth opened, legs shook badly. "No, this cannot be the same person," she whispered to herself in denial. But it was the same face she mocked, only now looking like royalty indeed. Sandra stumbled forward, forgetting to breathe properly. "Good afternoon, Ma. Welcome to Benson's Food. Please come in. You are very welcome. Ma, please forgive if anything happened yesterday." But Judith walked past her calmly without speaking. Her guards followed as Sandra tagged behind, sweating, shaking, whispering pleas for forgiveness. Judith didn't look or speak to her. She walked straight into the restaurant boldly. Inside, everyone froze as forks dropped. Spoons stopped. Phones came out quickly. People remembered her as hungry girl yesterday. Now she looked like someone buying streets. Customers whispered, "Is that the same woman? She looks different. Who is she really?" "She's rich, beyond rich," they said. Johnson was wiping table when he looked up. His heart almost stopped in recognition. But she was nothing like the girl helped. His mop fell to the floor loudly. He blinked hard, wondering if dreaming this. Judith turned slowly, sweeping the restaurant with eyes. Then she spoke with calm, powerful voice. "My father built Benson's food from scratch." Johnson nodded, still trembling from shock. "I will not disappoint you, Ma." "I know," Judith answered with warm eyes. Their eyes met in calm, quiet connection, something neither understood yet fully. Then suddenly a loud crash from outside. People screamed as Sandra escaped guards running. People jumped away, shouting, "Look out!" Judith turned as Sandra charged toward her. Something shiny flashed in her angry hand. Customers screamed. Chairs fell as people dived. Judith stood frozen in fear and shock. Johnson reacted first, jumping in front. Blocked Sandra's attack with his arm bravely. The sharp object scratched him lightly instead. She screamed and kicked, crying wildly. Customers watched in fear and disbelief. Judith rushed to Johnson with shaking voice. "Are you okay?" she asked worriedly. Johnson nodded, holding his scratched arm. "I'm fine, Ma. Just a little cut." Judith breathed out slowly, heart pounding fast. "You saved my life just now." Johnson smiled shyly, despite the pain. "You saved mine yesterday," he replied. It was a strange moment of danger, fear and something warm between them, something neither was ready to discuss yet. 2 weeks passed as staff adjusted quickly. Saying "Good morning, Manager Johnson" became normal. Customers saw him give instructions confidently. Judith visited the restaurant almost every day. She said for inspection, but eyes softened. When Johnson spoke, she waited for opinions, stood closer than necessary to him always. But she also brought new ideas forward. Within months, Benson's food expanded rapidly. New branches opened in Abuja, Port Harcourt, Kano, and Enugu joined the growing chain. That year, it became a national brand. Everybody talked about it in newspapers, mentioning Manager Johnson as the key figure. He worked day and night using accounting skills, managing staff, checking food quality politely, talking to customers. He was loved, respected. He was different in a good way, and Judith saw it clearly every time. One night at her mansion, garden-wide, green filled with flowers and soft lights, she wore a cream dress, hair in curls. Johnson arrived with reports and numbers ready, but he sat down and said softly, "You look tired. Are you okay now?" She didn't answer immediately, but asked instead, "Do you like working with me, Johnson?" Johnson's heart almost stopped at the question. "Yes, more than anything," he said quietly. She smiled, small, but it changed everything. From that night, they talked more, laughed, trusted each other more slowly, gently, quietly. Judith fell in love with him. Johnson tried hiding feelings, feeling unworthy. She was too big, rich, powerful for him. But she didn't see him like that. She saw his heart pure and kind. One evening, exactly 1 year after promotion, Judith returned home late to her garden. Saw lights, flowers, candles, soft music playing. Johnson standing in middle wearing black suit. Judith froze and asked, "What is this?" He took shaky breath and began speaking. "Judith, you didn't just change my life. You saved it, gave me a chance.